Well, it's the 1st of January 2020. I don't know when you're watching the video, but that's today's date. It's a new decade. The sun is sort of shining. And believe it or not, this is going to be my first video of the decade. Which is a bit of a surprise, really, since it's the 1st of January. Anyway, just recently I've been doing some videos about minimalist camera equipment, basically featuring the Insta360 ONE X and one or two other little cameras. Now I'm still talking about the Insta360 ONE X, but I'm going to talk about some of the really good uses we can make with this camera. And for me, I work on my own 99.9% of the time. So I've got a problem that if I want to video myself while I'm doing something and take photos at the same time, I'm struggling. And that's where this camera can come in very, very handy. It can be a second photographer for me. I can set it up. I don't have to worry where it's pointing. I know it's videoing me all the time, and I can get some interesting and different shots of me taking photos or whatever else it is I'm doing. The other thing is, it's really, really good for B-roll, because once again, I don't have to point it anywhere in particular, and I can make my selection when I get it back on my iPad. And I'll be honest, I use LumaFusion 99% of the time now. I'm seriously thinking about getting rid of my Adobe software. I'm going to have to stop saying as well. I'm seriously thinking about getting rid of my Adobe software and just using LumaFusion on my iPad. There you go, I'm doing it again. I'm really pleased with it. It works really well. It's dead simple. And if you're out and about travelling, you can use your iPad more or less anywhere. The last video I did, the one while I was in the taxi, I did absolutely everything. Sat in a taxi while I was waiting for a run. Sat on the taxi rank, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. When it was nice and quiet and bored, I used my laptop and did everything. But anyway, I'm diversifying, and that's not what we're here talking about today. We're talking about B-roll and using the camera as a second photographer. So I'm going into Clumber Park now. I've got my other camera. I've got my XT3, and I'm going to take some photographs. Nothing in particular. I don't want to particularly photograph anything, but I just want to show you how I can use this camera in different ways as a second photographer, if that makes sense. Or am I rabbiting? Now I know with this camera you can make lots of, or in fact an infinite amount of super duper videos. You can do all sorts of things. You can put your camera in crisp packets and drawers and run it through railings and all that kind of stuff to make something that looks really, really special. But all I'm talking about on this video is a practical use of just using it as a second cameraman when you work on your own. And it can be hard working on your own sometimes, trying to figure out how to do things and still get a decent shot and still be able to show what you want to show at the same time. And this camera just makes it just that little bit easier. Well, in fact, it makes it a lot easier to do these kind of things. It's not like me, but it's a bit chilly today, so I'm going to put my I can't do it that way because of my broken arm. I'll have to do it this way. Put my arm in. My arm seems to have healed now, but apparently I've got a frozen shoulder, so they say, which is restricting the movement of my arm quite a bit, and if I try and move it too much it hurts a lot, but that's another story. So my second cameraman now is stuck on the side of the vehicle, and it can follow me around wherever I go. So it doesn't make any difference. It's like having somebody with me walking around videoing me. Now I know the Osmo Pocket does face detection and all that kind of stuff, which is really, really good. But sometimes that face detection isn't very good and it loses you. With this camera, it doesn't lose me at all. My second cameraman is there with his camera, panning the shots like this and keeping me in frame all the time. Well, it would be if there was a second cameraman there. The other good thing I can do with this is I've got a camera here in my pocket. It's only a little one. My little Olympus Tough. So if I want to demonstrate something, I can stand here like this and you can see the camera and you can see me, and I can go through the controls and things like that, and you can see what I'm doing, which is, I might put it on scene. Let's have a look, see what I'm going to do. Put it on scene, nightscapes, people. I'm going to put it on scenery. There we go. I'll just leave it on standard. There you go. So you can see me operating the camera and all the controls that's on there. And that's one of the, apart from, you know, all the bullet time and everything else that goes with it, this is one of the really, really good uses for the camera. Now I'm not worried about you being able to see the sucker that's stuck on the windscreen, because I don't need that angle from the video. I just need me, and that's all I need. So I'm not worried about that. Right, because it's quite a bit breezy, I'm not worried, or even though it's quite a bit breezy I should say, I'm not particularly worried about popping the camera on the tripod. This is a fairly sturdy tripod, and what I've done is I've shortened the back leg so there's a certain amount of lean backwards, and I can put the camera on the end of the invisible selfie stick. Now I'm not worried about the tripod being seen, because I want to be able to video myself as I'm walking around. So I'm just going to pop the camera onto the tripod now, and that's really sturdy. That's not going to move, that's not going to fall over. Let me just tighten this up, which is a bit loose. Tighten my ball up, there we go. So now I can get an overhead shot. I can walk up, I can walk under the camera and come the other side. I can show you settings on the camera. I can come back here, I can take my photos as I want, and you've still got me as a second cameraman. Once again, he's doing a fantastic job. I can walk around and do anything I want. Well, apart from backward somersaults and things, I'm getting a bit old and a bit heavy for that now. But as you can see, I can video myself, I can get shots in two directions at once, so if I want a bit of background while I'm talking, you know, of the ford and the river and things like that, I can do that. I'll pick it up and I can move it, and there we go, that's sturdy. I can walk away, I can turn around, and I can do some of those shots, you know, where you're walking up to the camera and talking to the camera. And once again, I can walk past the camera and it'll still be talking to me, or still not talking to me. It doesn't talk to me, it videos me. It'll still be videoing me. And it's just like there's somebody there with a camera panning around and videoing me. Anyway, we're back to the old thing. If you think this is interesting and it's been good, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this video, please smile and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, share it with your friends, and hopefully, I shall be seeing you all through this decade. Hopefully I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye everybody, see you later, have a nice new year.